Pictures of Kai Havertz, who's saying, let's have it, because Kai Havertz has declared that Arsenal want to win it all and has warned their rivals they will only get better. Similar story on the back page of the Daily Mail. Havertz telling Arsenal, our rivals are all getting better, so we need to evolve if we want to defend the Premier League title. And same as the Daily Express, Havertz fires title warning. So how can Arsenal evolve if they want to get more trophies?
Well, the obvious way... The obvious way, Katie, is that they invest in the team, and look, the squad at Arsenal has been a significant squad, a really powerful one for some time. If you are looking to improve Arsenal, then you've got to spend big and you've got to go for the best, as all the Vinny Jr. talk over the last couple of weeks would testify. So I think for Arsenal, there's no reason why they can't go and do what they did again. There's no reason why. It's not going to be easy, as he mentions. Everybody else is spending big and looking to improve, but I think they are the team to catch, the team to beat. And if they were to add one or two, even one absolute prime-time, big-time signing, then I still think they're going to take some catching. I do. I know they've got a few problems. Saliba is obviously going to be out for a bit with his injury from the World Cup.
And Declan Rice.
Declan Rice, yeah. So, but everybody has those problems at some point. And I still think they'll be the team to catch, definitely.
If Arsenal do sign Bruno Guimaraes, do you think he would be a regular starter?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Even when Declan Rice comes back?
Who in place of?
Yeah.
Well, someone like Odegaard is inevitably the one who... Look, he had a good World Cup, by the way. Really, and he's a player I like a lot. But I think Bruno would be a certainty at the start.
Good player.
And I think he'd be... a terrific signing for them. And I'm with you, Andy. It's foolhardy to say we're going to win everything, isn't it? At this stage of the season, it's foolhardy in March to say you're going to win everything this season. But the quote there saying, everybody else is getting stronger. Where have you seen that at, Kai? Because for me, the challengers are not getting stronger. Manchester City with a new manager, big question marks. Liverpool, big question marks over them, even though I love Antonio Iraola. Manchester United. Not spent, have they? Not spent. I mean, that may change.
Yeah. I would think it will, but you're right.
So at the moment, Arsenal, for me, clear favourites in terms of the Premier League, but it's a question of what they can do in Europe as well, isn't it?
Well, let's talk about Manchester United, because in The Sun also, the headline, Gab the Bull by the Horns. Lots of hype around JJ Gabriel, 15-year-old wonderkid, won the Premier League Under-18 Player of the Season and received a massive roar for their pre-season friendly when he came on in Stockholm. I mean, he's the youngest ever Manchester United player to represent the first team. It was Angel Gomez came on. He was 16 years old back in the day. But Andy, were there any 15-year-olds playing in your day?
Well, of course, there's always, Katie, been young lads that used to see training perhaps with the youth teams, and every now and again, one gets sent over to join in. Someone limps out of a training session, and all of a sudden they go and they whistle someone over from the far side, and a kid comes running over. That happened at Southampton with me, and that young lad was Matt Letizia.
Oh wow! Who
come trotting over. And, and sort of stood out on the wing and didn't run around that much. But every time he had the ball, he did something brilliant with it, And you instantly can tell with those young guys, you can instantly tell whether they can handle even just being around the boys, the senior first team players.
The physicality? The
physicality, joining in the training. There are some that instantly you just go, yeah, this boy, he can do it. He can play. And clearly that young man is one of them. What I would say is there's a lot... Katie, there's a lot of these kids at this age that show tremendous promise, and for whatever reason, it doesn't quite materialise into them becoming regulars in the first team. And I think, there are a lot of brilliant young footballers that get lost to the game between the ages of 15 and 18.
Like Chelsea. Yeah. Like, how often have we seen that happen at Chelsea?
We've seen it happen a lot, and for various reasons, for growing up reasons, for they start getting into enjoying a night out with their friends, girlfriends, etc., whatever. But they just lose their focus a little bit, and it's difficult to keep them absolutely honed in and tuned in all that way from 15 until this young man maybe trots out at Old Trafford in in a first-team game. But I have heard from some people that work at Manchester United, who I know, some of my old teammates actually work there. They have told me that this kid is the real deal, Jeff. He's very, very good.
Yeah, but I think any United fans who think he's going to play a major part this season...
Oh, no.
He won't.
No.
He might make a few little bit part...
League Cup games and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is the way it should be, really,
Correct.
isn't it? You can't throw somebody in too soon.
Yeah.
And then just finally from me, this story on the back page of the Times, Xabi Alonso, why took the Chelsea job, actually across a number of the back pages, also on the Daily Mail. The new manager saying the team aren't as bad as they looked last season. And he's also speaking about the scars of Real Madrid failure will help him in West London. So this is speaking after a pre-season tour in Australia, speaking in Sydney. He's kind of acknowledged Chelsea struggled. They finished 10th in the Premier League last season, didn't they? And he said the reason he took the job, it was just good timing for him. The offer didn't come in from Liverpool, and he feels as though he's learnt a lot from Real Madrid. What do you think we can expect from Xabi Alonso?
I think you can expect good things, and for him, the hardest thing for Xabi Alonso it won't be the squad that he's got. He's got a good squad of players. He's got some, and they've the Morgan Rogers stuff, and I think the Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson to a lesser degree, but I think they're still sensible signings. I think Morgan Rogers is going to be a real top player. He's only getting better. Hardest thing for Xabi Alonso is keeping everybody calm and just keeping everything on an even keel at Chelsea. They're in such a rush to do everything in the club. You feel that they're kind of always trying to play catch up and get back to where they once were. Well, it's not going to happen overnight. They need to just calm down, let the guy get on with his job. He's got good players. Let him get this squad playing with a bit of rhythm and a bit of continuity before they start getting rid of 10 and bringing another 10 through the door. Let him get on with it that way, and then we'll see what he can do. But I'm sure he'll do well. Listen, what he did in Germany was no mean feat.
No, it was brilliant.
It was brilliant. It was very, very good what he did there, and that's not easy to do. So obviously the Madrid stuff hurt him a bit, but I think he can bounce back from that, no problem. I really do.
I think his biggest issue, briefly, is keeping everybody happy, because the number of players they've got no European football.
No.
When you just looked at midfield, because they signed Valentin Barco yesterday, and they've already got Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, Henderson, Lavia, Cole Palmer, Morgan Rogers, Reece James can play in there as well. That's just midfield. If you look further forward, it's even more congested. So I think his biggest problem is going to be to keep everybody happy, unless there are some outgoings between now and the start.
Like Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, do I like him?
Enzo Fernandez, obviously there's been talk of Real Madrid and all.
There has. Look, I never quite I've seen Enzo Fernandez as a £100 million footballer, but that's not his fault. That's what happened. He showed in the World Cup. He scored some big goals, and he did last season for Chelsea. He scored some goals for, I think.
Got a red card in the final though, didn't he?
15, yeah. Crazy tackle, stupid tackle that was. But look, they've got some talented players, Chelsea. Without that European football, without that fixture congestion, they might. If they get off to a good start, they could surprise a few.
Here's one word answer, Andy. Cole says, can you mention the Leeds game against Liverpool last night? Leeds were 2-0 down, won by 4 goals to 2 in the end. Where do you think Leeds will finish this season?
16th.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. What do you...
I think 10th.
10th, do you really?
Yeah, I think they'll have a good season. I think they'll have a good season. I love the fact they signed Harry Wilson.
Yeah, good player, Harry. Best football I'd seen him play last year at Fulham. Really good.
Now, last night, Liverpool threw away a 2-0 lead against Leeds. They conceded 4 times in the second half in just 25 minutes. Leeds winning 4-2. Brilliant result for Leeds. Despite the defeat, the Liverpool boss, Andoni Iraola, says there are positives to take from the game in Chicago.
I think we learn a lot of things. Probably it's obviously not the result you want, but I think probably the most useful friendly we played in a positive way in the first half and in a negative way in the second half. No, I think we've learned a lot from today, and I think we can take good conclusions and solve some things. Yes.
Andy, can you read anything into pre-season games?
Not now. I know, particularly on the back of a World Cup when everyone's still, a lot of senior players at all the clubs are still enjoying some downtime. So it's difficult, to be honest with you. I've seen some of the teams in some of the matches that have been putting out, they're almost unrecognisable. Great for some of the young kids that are involved in and around the squad, but don't don't take too much. Jeff, over the years, I had so many pre-seasons where won every game, and then the first league game comes along, and you get beat, and you have a bad. And then I've had other pre-seasons when everything's going wrong, players are getting injured, you're looking hopeless, and all of a sudden the season starts and you start off really well. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. I really wouldn't read too much into whatever you're witnessing at the minute.
And that Liverpool side, that would bear no resemblance to the side that will start the first Premier League game of the season. I'm surprised how many Leeds fans are wanting to batter you by saying they're going to finish 16th,
well, listen,
I
I welcome the Leeds fans to come on and tell me why that they feel they'll finish. You said you mentioned that you think they might be in and around the mid-table, 10th, which would be a great season for them. With what they have at the moment, I don't quite see that, but I'm welcome to be put right by the Leeds fans. Yeah, get them on.
Yeah, I mean, mentioned Harry Wilson. They brought in a defender as well, and you reminded me they're still chasing James Trafford, who would be a great signing.
Good signing. He certainly would be. Listen, whenever I do look, I've done so many games over the years, played there so many times, and commentated so many games at Ellen Road. It's a brilliant Premier League club. It really is. And anyone who goes there to watch a game, you're watching a proper game. You really do. But they're going to have to, I think, get a few more through the door first to convince me that they're going to be anywhere in the single figures in the Premier League, Jeff, definitely.